I gotta love that intro music that we're using now for the show. Welcome back, everyone, to the DJ Sessions presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host, Darren. Right now, coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and on the other end, coming all the way in from Hungary, we have Chris Drifter today. Chris, how's it going?
Hi, Darren. How are you? Thanks for inviting me.
I'm doing great. I thank you very much for coming on the show today. I know you have a little bit of a celebration going on over there right now. Your
Yes.
son just I guess just finished school. Is that what it was?
Finished the second year of the primary school, so we had a fun today. So,
Awesome. Heard you having like a pizza
pizza
party
party.
over
Yeah, pizza party. For me, a beer party also, but
there. Right on. Well,
yes.
you've definitely had a long career in the industry that it goes all the way back. I mean, did you start in 2002 or were you already going out to clubs before that?
Yes, I started as a DJ because I'm when I was younger and go to house parties. Always interesting to electronic music, mostly the new electronic music. So I tried to myself as a DJ. So I tried to understand how the techniques will go, and I started to practice myself. I bought basic DJ set and started to mixing my favorite tracks and which I like. And in the beginning was very hard because the tempo and the sync was not easy. There wasn't a sync button on, for example, on the vinyl player or the older CDGs. So you have to learn about the matching tempo the two tracks, and this was the main point when it was successfully done,
Mhm.
and it was a huge step for me that I could mix two tracks together. And later I started to learn how to make mixing like a harmony, because I always listening mixes from different kind of DJs from different styles, and I always try to understand what they would like to share with us. So, and when I started to make and do the practice, after that I tried to make how to build a set. There was a beginning and the main element, and then the
Right.
outro or a breakdown. And in 2005, I made my first DJ mix with live with CDGs, and there was quite last page, internet page, where this kind of DJ set was published, and there was a one Hungarian party site where they put some news about the parties and information, interviews, something like that. This was before the Facebook, so and they started to share mixes, and my first mix was published there, and I had a big chance to share a lot of people my first mix, and this was made them by favorite tracks. I used
What
to play progressive house.
and what defines the term DJ for you?
Mhm,
What does the term DJ mean to you?
mhm. So basically, the DJ is a disc jockey. When I started to make this kind of things, I had a chance to go to official training, and in Hungary, that there was a training. If you would like to be a DJ, you had a chance to make for a training, and you had a chance to make a certificate that you are a DJ, and you would like to play in clubs. And some of my friends went to this course and training. There was a musical theoretical training, and there was a practice. And after the training, you had to mix 5 or 6 tracks together with matching tempo, everything, and you have to show what is you, within 10 or 15 minutes.
Hmm.
And there was some categories. There was a normal DJ who speak with the microphone, this who can play commercial music, and between the tracks, you have to speak with the audience. This is almost the same like radio station, when somebody working on the radio station. And the other type is a technical DJ, where you don't speak on the microphone, you just make some techniques, put some effects. And I had to make some tracks together, some kind of options where you can mix some tracks. And after the course, you have to show what you do. So for my understanding, the DJ is which I finished with the technical part of the course, and for the DJ who show his music style and try to entertain the people. So I always looking for new music, and I always play which I like, and where if I dance on the dance floor, what is the track which I like or which I dance. So I always try to make this kind of tracks. So mostly for me, the DJ is to entertain the people, make them happy, and show new music, because the the musical world is always changing. Everybody gets new experiences, feelings. So for me, the DJing is this.
And how do you define success as a DJ? Is it a Beatport top 10 hit, a sold out tour, shows? What are your
Mhm,
thoughts on this?
mhm. I think if somebody could go to the party or a club, and you have a spot, because everybody is focusing on your music, focusing on your personality, focusing everything on you, and you have to show something unique, something special, because mostly this club events, I'm talking about the night events. There are so many good events in the daytime, but I'm mostly talking about the night event, and the people who are going out on the weekends, they would like to make a good party, dancing. They would like to lazy time, and they would like to listen good music. And when they go to the club, they would like to hear good music from the DJs. So the DJs has to make make the audience dance, and make the people happy. And if a DJ go to a club and make a good party, next time everybody is satisfied, and he can make a new event again. So you had a spot, and you have to entertain the people, because they would like to hear some new music, or they would like to hear some commercial music. So this is what is going on. And the most important part of DJing, for my understanding, that you have to be unique. So you don't have to follow other DJ direction, or other artist profile, or something like that. You have to make something special, and you have to be creative, and you have to be doing some kind of interesting things. So and I had I had a good experience almost all of my earliest gig, because every time there was one person who going so went for me, and say congrats, or ask what was this track. And I always found some tracks which was interesting, and this is a good feeling for me.
If there was one track one essential track that you're playing right now,
Mhm.
what track is that people should be listening to right now? That you're playing a show. It's in every show. You're playing it right now. What track is that?
Mhm. Mhm. Um, it's a very interesting question, because I always I always prepare a new set when I have a gig. I used to play promos, uh, and sometimes I have some secret tracks, mostly from my favorite producer, but it's always changing. It's
Mm.
always changing. It's always the musical, which is actually the trend, is always changing. But I think when I had to choose one track, I choose one track from Artbat, which is very good uh, producers nowadays, and this sound is a totally perfect fit from the trance. So I used to play any kind of tracks. The people, I think, will go go crazy.
And you're not just a DJ. You do a lot more. You actually are an A&R manager. You have Soul Art, your label. What has that experience been like, listening to other people's music and taking that in from a label perspective, not a DJ perspective? Is there a difference
Mm,
when you're looking at music and say, I'm a DJ, I'd play this in a club. I'm an A&R person. I want this on my label. Is there a difference there, or is it one and the same?
yes, sorry. There is some differences, because if you uh, preparing your DJ set, you always trying to match the tracks together, or matching the tracks. When you have experience and the knowledge how to make, for example, a 2 hour set, you just searching tracks which is fit with each other, and within a style or something like that, or within a range. And if you make a mix or play in a club, and somebody started to listen this music, and you can say that yes, this is probably Chris Ritter. But if you are searching for demos for a label, or a record label, you have a wider range of music, because sometimes the music is not really fitting my set, but I like the music, and I always searching some interesting sounds or elements of the tracks, and I give a chance to producers. I always support new producers, and I always give a chance to people who would like to show something, or show new music. And there is always new producers who can bring new sound, and you can find the really good tracks, and give a chance them to release.
Yeah,
So,
one of the things we're excited to be launching here, that's on our plans for 2023, is our own DJ Sessions label. And we've always been about taking on new DJs, but now we see that DJs are becoming producers, or it's kind of been a trend that's happening over the last
mhm,
maybe 10 years. You know,
mhm,
I used to see a lot of my friends, a lot of people I knew, they were just DJs. They did not produce. They just played the
mhm,
music. And now it's kind of like, you kind of got to produce in order to be a DJ. You got to be a DJ in order to produce or to get your music out there. It's kind of a very interesting thing. And so we're really excited to go down that lane, go down that road. And I've never done A&R. I have a good team that I'm putting together on the background, but I'm wondering if when I open that floodgate, how many submissions that we might get just by saying, hey, we want to hear from everyone. And how do you manage that with all the music coming in? 'Cause I still get submissions from people from all over the world, and I'm like, we're not a label, so you're submitting music, but if I had to listen to all the music that came in, that would just be a full time job in itself.
Yeah.
Um, so
Mhm.
where do you find the time to balance your life? Because I know it's not just your DJ life, your A&R life. You also have a family life as well,
Yes.
and
Yes.
balancing that can be a very very interesting act.
I think I have a great routine. So, and the time schedule is most important. So, if you are working in music industry, you have to be always focused on the new sounds. That's why I always changing the tracks when I might make a new mix or prepare a mix. So always freshing your ears. But this is true if I produce music. So I'm always searching for new sounds and new technologies, everything. And so when you had a routine, you can find a good track. For example, from 500 tracks, you can find the five best ones. So this is a routines you have to listen really lots of music, and you have to choose, and you have to make the decision that this is a good track.
Hmm.
When you manage a label, you always have to trust or choose some things. What is the direction? What will be the good sounds? And in the past, I think I choose very good producers. I always got very good tracks from the producers, and I always find this is some kind of uh, like a fishing. You have to spend hours, and after you find the good tracks. And it's not easy. When I started the DJ career, I always focus some producers who made good tracks, but after that, the same producer make little bit weaker tracks. So I I had to find other tracks. So I started to interesting to other tracks, and focusing on more tracks, and listening to more music. And when I looking for new music on the label, I always matching with the current trends. What would be the direction, and I try to make a more colored EP with remixes or other tracks from the producers. We don't release too much tracks because I always focusing on quality, not the quantity, and we don't release too much tracks, but always try to find the good direction.
I think that's one of our strategies is that we're not looking to release 10 tracks or 100 tracks or 1,000 tracks. We're looking for a really one good track to release
Yes.
like once every 4 to 6 weeks. It's kind of what
Mhm.
I hear, coming
Yeah.
if you're doing a label, you know um and we're not trying to get into this to make, we just want to really release some really good stuff. It's not really about the money, it's about getting it out there and getting it signed and getting the collaborations down. So we're really excited for that. Speaking of tracks, tell us about the latest track that you just released.
The latest tracks was from my label, released. I can say I released in last December my own EP, which was two tracks from myself. So I used to release my tracks on other label because uh, you can release as much track as you can on your label, but this is not my role. But I always try to release my own tracks, and I produce two uh, cool tracks. So I try to release on my label, and it was very good feedback from DJs, and I was really satisfied about it. So
Nice. Are you a software producer or a hardware producer or both? Or
basically I use VST plugins, so I use the software, and MIDI keyboard. I think I can make everything which I would like to uh, produce on virtual elements. In the past years, I used to try with almost every sequencer like Cubase, Ableton. I worked more than 10 years with Ableton, but when I changed my uh, laptop to Mac, Apple, I always interested in the Logic, and in the next in the past sorry in the past 7 or 8 years, I turned to Logic because I really like the sounding and everything and the workflow. And very good inside effects and VST plugins, everything. There are so many hardwares which are uh, very expensive, but if you had a idea, if you had a knowledge and everything, if you had a track which we like to produce, you can make with virtual elements. It's no problem. But this producing music is always a, a hard story, hard and then long story to develop yourself and develop your sound.
Mhm. I've loved Logic ever since I started playing with it. I think it was Logic 7 when I first started getting into Logic. That was years ago, back
Hmm.
when I worked for Apple. And I was a trainer. I could actually train you on how to use Logic. No, I couldn't train you how to be a producer, but I could train you on how to use the software, which was kind of fun. You know, if somebody wanted to come in and learn the basic workings of where to go, and I never went that route of making music. I went more towards Final Cut Pro and motion graphics and all that fun stuff. But yeah,
Hmm.
I always have loved the Logic, the simpleness of it, the ease of it, the ease of workflow with it. It's always seemed
Yes,
natural. Um,
absolutely.
Now, speaking of toys in the studio or playing with things, making music in the studio, you have kids. Are they is your children a child allowed in the studio, and are they allowed to play with your gear as well?
Yes. It is very hard to find a time slot in the day because they are always crazy when they go to studio and try to make loud music and everything. But in the past weeks, I started a new track with my son, and I started to teach him how does it work and what is the main. But we are trying new sounds, and I started to teach him how does it works, and he is interested in, and there is a new track, and I'm focusing a little bit different sound which I produced in the past years, so it's quite amazing story. As soon as finished, I think so.
Awesome. And,
It's a great feedback for us,
mhm.
for me.
would
Sorry.
would you recommend a career of to be a DJ to young children? And what would be some of the good reasons to recommend it, and some of the bad reasons not to recommend it?
Mhm. Uh, I I recommend to young guys or girls to check if they had a chance to practice or try this musical elements or try himself or herself as a producer to making some tracks, and if they are impressed with music, they learn or they continue this work. There are lots of DJs who are interested in the music and playing in the class, but this is a very long story, and you have to spend lots of hours and days and weeks for practicing, finding new sounds. But it's not easy nowadays because there are so many good DJs, young DJs, producers. The market is full. You have to find your way, and you have to be patient, and you have to like and feel what you do in the musical business. And
And
I always try to give some emotions, some souls to the musics. For example, the sets or my set or my tracks. I always try to impress what I feel actually to my tracks, and I always try to make happy tracks and happy DJ 3D sets, so make the people happy.
and when you're producing, a lot of people, I mean, people don't know that it can take a very long time to
Mhm,
produce one track. And that means you're probably sitting in front of a computer for hours and hours and hours producing these tracks.
mhm,
Where do you find the free time to stay fit?
mhm. Beside normal work and the musical work, I do some sports in my free time. So I'm running, usually running. I In the past years I run so many half marathon races, and we were in with the team to run through the biggest Hungarian league, Balaton, and the sports give me power and fits to uh, make myself more fresh. And sometimes is it good because I have to think about the task under the running, I mean. And sometimes I find new ideas. For example, if I uh, stop a track because there is no impression or idea, and under the running I get new ideas. So it's uh, it's good for me.
Is that, do you have a balance, like you sit in front of the computer for 2 hours and then you get up and go exercise and then come back and eat, or
Mhm,
is there a pattern that you found that works for you the best?
mhm, mhm,
um, and what would that pattern look like
mhm.
if you could tell our DJ Sessions viewers what that would look like?
Um, in the past, there was when I sit on the computer more than 10 or 20 hours to make a track or searching new music, and I was really tired, and the music or the track which I produced going nowhere. So I had a limit when I producing music. I think it is a maximum 4 hours in time, and after that you have to fresh your ears or you have to fresh your body, because you know when you're listening music or if you produce music and listening the same sounds, your ears would tired, and you could select a wrong synthesizer, or you put some unnecessary things to the music. And after that, if you open the same project some days later, you just surprised that what is it. So I used to stop and making something else, or which is good for me. I listening to other kind of music, especially classical music or pop music, and you can your ears will give a little uh, stop, and after that you can continue. But sometimes if I stop on one point with a track, I put on hold, and some days later I will continue. But there was a example when I run, and I everything was finished with the track, but there was something missing with the main element, and I
Hmm.
and I get an idea under the running that oh, it is necessary some guitar sound or something like that, and that's a really I run it faster and make finish the track. And one most important advice from me, if you produce music, that you finish the track. If you feel it's not ready, or you think it's not as good as you imagine, just finish the track, because after that the next track will be better. In the past, there was some kind of project where are uh, producing 1 month and 2 months, and the music wasn't a big big outage or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely an awesome piece of advice. Is yeah, just produce it, finish it, and get out. I've heard sometimes people have tracks they've been working on for a year, and they just come back and come back, and I mean they'll produce other stuff, but that one track they just haven't got it right yet, and kind of just doing that. Speaking of producing shows, do you work with any radio shows or podcasts out there? Do you work closely with anyone? And what would be like the top one that you work with right now, if you do?
uh, we are using Proton distribution with a
Okay.
label, and we had a radio show on Proton since when the label start. This is Solar Harmonies, and this is a mostly show. I always try to show some tracks from the labels and my actual favorites. In the past, I had some podcast series and some other radios. There was a very famous Hungarian internet radio, jazzmusic.fm, which where we mix live on a studio. It was a one, and we have to manage as a radio show. So I have lots of experiences.
I had a fly in front of my face. Get out of the studio.
Yeah, you know.
Now, do you handle your own promotions as well?
hmm Currently, yes, yes, yes. I with the label we had a promo service, but this promo service by built by own. We are using some promo site, and always share the new music on social media. And I think the promoting the EP is really important, because if you just release the track, nothing happening, because every day tons of tracks will release, and there's a chance with promotion you find the right people to play the music.
And do you see? I mean, Beatport has such a, I don't want to use the term stranglehold on the market, but they are pretty at the top of their game. Are there any features or options that you would like to see Beatport have that are not currently available?
hmm I think mm, in nowadays the music distribution, promotion, and everything is going to more faster. So it means, for example, 10 years ago, if you prepare a gig or prepare the gig for playing, you have to, if you go to Beatport and find 10 or 20 tracks within half a day, and you had some secret favorites, you had a chance to play a 2 hour set.
Mm-hmm.
The only wasting time is to writing the CDs, which was always in hurry before the gig. But nowadays you have to listen much more music. For example, 10 or 15 years ago, there wasn't the information technology as fast as nowadays. And now, if you would like to show something special, you have to really dig deeper and
Mm-hmm.
find tracks. But it's time. It's long time, and you have to practice. So selecting music is a really a hard job. That you, if you would like to make something special, if you would like to just make a normal DJ set or something like that, with, for example, some commercial music or hits, it's not a problem. But if you would like to make some special things, you have to dig really deeper, and you have to find your sound, which is fit for you. And I think the Beatport has got a very good surface to find matching tracks for your ears, or for your DJ set. But to tell the truth, beside the Beatport, I used to check some streaming services, because the streaming services is uh, very popular, and this kind of technology is growing, and the technology behind this streaming service is very impressive. That if you started to listening the music, and it's try to matching your how can I say, taste, message your taste. And it is very good to find your sound.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what are your thoughts on NFTs coming into the music place? Have you done any research, or have you looked at NFT releases?
Sorry, what is NFT release?
Oh, a non-fungible. Gosh, I always pronounce it wrong. It's basically a way that you can put a token. Please, nobody out there murder me for saying this the wrong way, but NFTs are like a Bitcoin, but it's like
Mhm,
you can. How do I explain it? Let's say you make a track and you sell it on Beatport, and Beatport gets their cut, or so. Oh my gosh, how do I explain this? This is a big one, and I should know all about this because we're getting ready to release our own NFTs. Um, Basically, it's a way that when it transfers between people and sells, you still can get a commission off of it over and over and over again. So every time it moves through the crypto chain, like
oh, I
yeah,
see.
so like if I sold you a song for say 99 cents and I got 10% of that, and I got a dime or 10
Mhm,
cents US dollars for that, the
mhm,
next time you sold it for $2, I'd still get 10% of that $2,
mhm,
as long
mhm.
as it kept moving through the blockchain. So every time it moves, and there's usually a limited amount of these.
So there is no distribution services, the
Oh,
direct. Uh,
yeah, there are. I mean,
streaming.
there's OpenSea, and you can set up your own NFTs and get into some a lot of. There was a big boom of these happening about 6 months ago, and now it's kind of tapered off. But we've talked with some people that are in the industry that are very excited about NFTs when it comes to
Mhm.
artwork and music, even video files, making movies and things like that. That as that moves through, you're
Mhm.
still as an artist collecting on it in some
Mhm.
way, shape, or form, kind of having some more ownership to it. Please, nobody hit me up in my inbox and say I don't know what I'm talking about because I barely know what I'm talking about. But
Mhm.
most people, it's kind of a big buzzword out there right now in the music industry.
Mhm.
Um, and have you ever looked into anything and doing anything in virtual reality or augmented reality? Have you been approached to be in any VR nightclubs or anything like that?
I have heard about this kind of VR nightclubs, but never tried it. So so for in my opinion, if you had a good track, if you produce a good track, and this track is really good, I think the music or the track finds its way.
Hmm.
So I think you put on Beatport, put on streaming services, put on this kind of story, it's find a way because I always working by heart and by with emotions, and I think yes the money is most important, but I think uh, if you had a good track, maybe you can send for example 1,000 people as a promo, and there is no much sales because everybody download it and it's a good track. You had a bigger chance to get a gig because if you just release the track but no promotions, so it's always interesting strategy. What should we do
Hmm.
with the track? But I'm happy if people react to the tracks and always asking. So if somebody asking me uh, demo or promo from my tag, and I always send in the past to play, so it's not kind of problem for me. But
Hmm.
yeah, as the music style always changing, the technology is always changing, and we have
Yeah.
to take care what is the best for you.
Hmm. Where do you envision your life 10 years from now? Where would you like
Mhm.
to be?
Um, I would like to make tracks, produce tracks. I This is one of my lifetime goals to making so many good tracks, and I try to develop my sound. I try to make uh, uh, release them. One of my future goals is making an album, which is one of my story. So in the next 10 years is one of my dreams, and playing so many gigs if I had the chance, if I will have a chance. And children is growing, or children are growing, so I have lot of things with them. So yes.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the DJ sessions. Is there anything you want to let our DJ sessions fans know about before we let you get back to hopefully some of that warm pizza over there in your party?
Yes. We have some pizza and some beer, so we're celebrating. And yes, it was a really nice to meet you and speaking about the stories. Um, if you would like to check my sounds, you can find me on the Facebook and SoundCloud, Mixcloud. I will have some new releases soon. A little bit different style, which I produce in the past 2 or 3 years. Sometimes it will be a surprise for somebody, and I will start soon a new uh, podcast series for different kind of style. I try to make more uh, tracks in different kinds. In the past years, I produced lots of tracks in progressive and deep house. Now I will change a little bit my style, because I feel nowadays this. So if you would like to hear this new music from me, just check my SoundCloud and my social media sites. And if you have a good demo, or if you would like to, I always open to cooperate on productions. So if you would like to have a good idea, I'm always open with cooperating producers, vocalists, or something, other people in the music business.
Would they go
So
to Soul Art Recordings?
yes, yes. If it fits for the label, we can release it with great remixes as well.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on the DJ Sessions. It was a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me,
You're
Darren.
welcome. Have a wonderful evening over there.
Thank you.
On that note, you're welcome. Don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on TikTok, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter, find us on Meta. We're out there, thedjsessions.com. I'm your host, Darren, coming to you from Seattle, Washington for the virtual sessions, and Chris all the way over in Hungary.
Thank
And
you.
don't forget, on the DJ Sessions, the music
Yes.
never stops.
Yes.